Are you feeling unsteady on your feet? If so, strengthening your legs is one of the best ways to feel more balanced. Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm a physical therapist, but if it's been a while since you've exercised, please check with your healthcare provider first. So the first exercise we're going to do today is a mini squat. So I've got my chair here, and what I'm going to do is just bend my knees and come back up. Now I'm going to do about 10 of these, going nice and slow. And if you want, you could even hold a counter if you don't have a chair. And I'm just going down to the point that I feel comfortable, keeping my knees behind my toes and coming back up. So I'm just using the chair for a little bit of balance and coming back up. When you're doing these, you want to go nice and slow. Your feet should be about hip distance apart. Now, when you're doing exercises with me today, I want you to make sure that you're not having any pain. If you have any pain, that's a sign that the exercise may not be right for you. Pause, reassess, try again. Now, you may feel a little bit of burning in the quad muscles as you do these because you're really strengthening up those muscles. And so for the exercises we're doing today, we're going to do about 2 sets of 10. The first set of mini squats is complete. Now, the next exercise I want to do is a stationary lunge. I'm going to put my inside leg forward and I'm holding on to the counter and I'm just going to bend my knee to the point that I can go down safely without causing any pain and then coming back up. Now, if you're more unsteady, what you can do is put a chair on the other side. I would put my chair on the other side, but I want you to be able to see me, so we're just going to do it just like this. You could even hold on to the chair in front if you needed to. And again, we're doing about 10 on each side to start. Nice and easy, not too fast, and resting as much as we need to. Alrighty. Let's turn around and we'll get the other side. Now I've got the inside leg forward and I'm just coming up and down, keeping my knee directly over my foot so that I don't get any extra compression on my kneecap. And I'm going nice and slow on the way down, just going as far as I can without having a lot of pain. I hear a little bit of cracking in my ankles, but that's okay. All right, that's about 10 on that side. Now the next exercise I'm going to do is the hip resisted range of motion. I've got my looped band and I'm just going to put it around my ankles. If you have a little bit of pain in your knees when you're doing these, you could put the band right up above your knees, but I like the longer lever arm that I have by putting it by my feet. So that's what I'm going to do today. Alrighty, so I've got the band on my ankles and I'm going to start with kicking out to the side. I'm going to keep a slight bend in my stance leg and just coming out to the point that I can without changing the form up here. I want to be able to keep this nice and straight, going nice and slow. And I think I already said it, but you do want to have a slight bend in the leg that you're standing on. And for the next set, when I'm doing my left leg, I'm going to turn and face the counter just so that you can see what it looks like from the side. Again, I've got a slight bend in my stance leg, and I'm keeping my foot straight. I'm not letting my toes turn out. I'm keeping my toes pointed straight ahead as I do these. Now, the next one I'm going to do is hip extension. So I'm going to kick back, keeping a slight bend in my stance leg with my back straight. Stomach muscles are activated just to help me keep my posture. And I'm really tightening the glutes as I go back because I really want to feel that in the back of the leg and also in the stance leg. As I'm standing on my left leg, I can really feel those muscles kicking in. And that's just perfect. Alrighty, let's turn and get the other side. So again, small bend in the stance leg, squeezing the muscles here as we go back to help activate those glutes a little bit. Sometimes a little tactile input or a little bit of tapping on the muscle can get the muscles to activate a little bit better. Because a lot of times people will do exercises, but the glutes won't activate. So sometimes a little bit of focus right in that area can help get that going again. And I can really feel this in the leg that I'm standing on. So that's perfect. Now, the next exercise I'm going to do is a heel raise. I'm just going to raise up on my toes and come back down. As I'm doing this, I'm trying to go straight up into the air. I'm trying not to just rock back and forth, but I want to go straight up and come down with a nice amount of control. And as you're doing these, you just want to hold on lightly to the chair, just so that you don't fall over. If your balance is a little challenged, this could make you lose your balance potentially. If you find this type of content helpful, please like and subscribe. Now, the next exercise we're going to do is a step up. So I'm just going to step up 10 times with each leg. I'm just going to start with my left, and I'm holding on to the counter lightly so I don't lose my balance. I've got the chair in front of me just in case. Now, if you've got a lot of trouble with your balance, again, you could put the chair next to you, but just for the demonstration purposes, we're going to go with the chair right in front of us today. So we're going up and down about 10 times on this one. And this step here is about 6 to 8 inches tall. So anything from 4 inches up to 8 inches would be just fine on this. So let's go ahead and switch and do the right leg now. So we're stepping up. And again, I'm stepping up with the right and down with the left. That way this leg gets the power going up. And as we're going back down, I get that control. And we make sure that we do it the same way on each side so that we build our strength evenly. Alrighty, I think we're getting close to 10 here. Now, when you're doing these, if you start to get a little bit tired, I want you to take a break, have a drink of water. Sometimes as we get tired, our form starts to fail and we don't want to lose our balance while we're exercising. Alrighty, I'm ready for my second set. We're going back to the mini squats. Again, I'm holding my chair, bending my knees, keeping my knees behind my toes. My feet are about hip distance apart. And I'm going down just as far as I can, holding on lightly to the back of the chair and the counter. Again, if you are more unbalanced, you can put the chair on your side, whatever feels good to you. And if you haven't exercised in a while, maybe it would be good to just start off with one set. You wouldn't even have to do the second set of these. In fact, if you haven't exercised in a while and you're a little bit older like I am, I would just go ahead and do one set. And then tomorrow, see how you feel. Maybe work your arms tomorrow. And then the next day, come back and see if you can do 2 sets of these. Alrighty, now we're moving on to our stationary lunges. I'm going to put my inside leg forward, my outside leg back, and as I'm going down, I'm just going down as far as I can comfortably without causing myself any pain at all. And I want you to do the same. You should keep your knee over your foot. You don't want it going in or out. And if you can, just keep it behind the toes. And we're going nice and easy. There's no need to rush on these. Alrighty. And it's okay to look down every now and again to just make sure you're getting your form right. Ideally, you would have some sort of mirror so that you can just see what's going on. But the nice thing is that when I'm doing these exercises, since I am recording, I can look back and see how I'm doing as I'm going for these. If I'm keeping my posture, if I've got a forward head, if maybe my knee is going too far in front of my toes, all those little things you want to be mindful of so that you don't cause an injury. Because we're working out to get stronger, and nothing will sideline you faster than having an injury because you didn't pay attention to your form. So, especially as we get older, that becomes more and more important. Alrighty, we're going back to the hip resisted range of motion. I'm going to put the band around my ankles. So, we're going to start with bringing our leg out to the side. I've got a nice little bend in my stance leg, and I'm just making sure that I go high enough. I feel some resistance in the band, but I'm keeping my posture nice and straight. The other thing I'm making sure is that my foot is staying pointed straight ahead. That way I really target that gluteus medius muscle that helps our pelvis stay level while we're walking. Let me turn the other way so we can go ahead and get the other leg. So again, slight bend in the stance leg, belly button to the spine to help keep my posture. I've got my hand on my hip because that just helps me make sure that my hips are level. And I'm glancing down every now and again just to make sure my foot is in the correct position. It's really easy when you're doing these to get out of alignment. And we just want to make sure that everything is staying exactly where it's supposed to. Next is the hip extension. Again, slight bend in the stance leg as we kick back. I've got my core muscles engaged as I'm going, and I'm really starting to feel a nice burn in the stance leg, right in those hip muscles there. So that is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we want when we're doing these. So again, let's switch legs, slight bend in the stance leg as I'm kicking back, keeping my belly button to my spine so that I keep my posture nice. It's real easy to lean forward like this or arch your back and go too far. And the last thing you want to do is give yourself a back injury when you're trying to strengthen your legs. Alrighty, we're just going to do a few more. Alrighty, that looks good to me. Now we're back with the heel raises. Again, feet are going to be about hip distance apart. I'm just holding the chair lightly for a little bit of balance, and you should too. We're going straight up into the air and coming down with a good amount of control so that we really maximize each repetition as we go. And the other thing we want to think about as we're doing these, it's good to focus on your form and making sure that you're doing little checks as you go. Ideally, if you have like a full length mirror that you could look into while you're doing the exercises, that would be perfect, especially for the stationary lunges and the hip resisted range of motion, just to make sure that your body is exactly where you think it is. And that way you can reduce your risk of injury. Now, last but not least is our stepping exercise. I'm just going to step up and back down, just like we did before. And we're going to do about 10 on each side. What I'm doing is just one leg at a time. So stepping up with my left leg and down with my right to really focus on targeting those quad muscles in my left leg. And I'm just holding lightly here and making sure that I pay attention to where I'm putting my foot so that I don't have an accident as I'm stepping up. Now you just go at the pace that feels most comfortable to you. And anytime you need to stop and rest, that's perfectly fine. You can take a little rest, get a drink of water, and resume the exercises when you're ready. Alrighty, last set on the right side. So stepping up and down. Now, if your balance is a little bit more challenged on this, what you could do is just keep your foot right up on the step so that you don't have to worry about the foot placement. But it's actually a really good exercise to put your foot up and down because that helps practice planting your foot on the correct spot when you're going up the stairs. But the main thing is that you maintain your safety. So if leaving your foot on the step works better for you, then that's perfectly fine. Holding on as much as you need to in order for you to maintain your safety. Now that your legs are a little bit stronger, you might want to watch this video next to help your balance.